Hey guys, Ruby here, your 420 Fish Girl, and I am back to explain the rest of my native fish collection. So I'm going to talk right now about Lepomis macrochirus. That's a bluegill sunfish. Very, very common fish, caught and found throughout the entire Midwest area, southern Canada. It likes rocks, tree root, kind of hardscapey type stuff like this, and also areas with vegetation. They like highly oxygenated water, and they also like water that's heavily stocked with vegetation, plants and things like that. Things they can hide under. So, these omnivores, they have the potential to get up to a foot in the wild. They are technically a schooling fish. They've got a synchronized fin movement, which allows them to accelerate fast due to the structure of the caudal and dorsal fin placement. And they have great sight as well. The bluegills also have something called a lateral line system, which is something that a lot of aquatic creatures have. It basically feels out the environment through sensory and triggers the fish to be able to sense its environment, basically, based on clues like vibration, sound. So I'd imagine that'd be useful. I wish I had it. And then, what else? Oh, they've got this thing called C-start escape response, and that's triggered by neural stimuli also that it results in very quick turning and maneuvering for escape, basically. So that is the bluegill in a nutshell. Now I want to cover Lepomis scabosus, and that is the pumpkin seed sunfish. Pumpkin seed is widely distributed throughout the U.S. and Europe, where they're actually invasive due to their aggressive nature and breeding habits. So that's kind of a weird little fact. Pumpkin seed, not a friend of the Europeans. They top out around under a foot. They can just be bulky, beefy little beasts. And they're known for their bright orange, well, I've had prettier ones, sorry. Bright orange bellies, and the like turquoise lines on the faces, and also there's a little red spot on the ear there. So they're omnivores and pretty aggressive feeders. They are diurnal in their activity, so they do shit during the day, and they like warmer, smaller, clear bodies of water. They school with other panfish species, and they can also adapt to physical environment, and they can develop camouflage and things like that. They also, like the bluegill, these guys also have, swift fin maneuvering, and the lateral line sensory system. Okay, now I want to cover Micropterus salmoides, or the largemouth bass. Yeah, now we're getting into it. Now, these guys are carnivorous freshwater game fish. related to the sunfish family and native to central eastern U.S., Canada, northern Mexico. They're greenish gray, and they typically exhibit that horizontal bar and darker tips of the fins and tail. And their mouth goes past the orbit, which is the line of the eye right here. So that's interesting. The females are typically larger. Now, this is a male. Notice he's a little emaciated. He's been nest guarding, and they will suspend their appetite for weeks, even up to months, nest guarding and watching fry and things like that. So, yeah. These guys can get up to 25 inches long with a lifespan of around 15 years. They are the largest of the black bass species, and they prefer densely water that's densely loaded with vegetation and surface cover. See, he likes to sit under this plant here. And it doesn't really benefit them because it kind of inhibits their ability to be able to catch prey with all that vegetation and stuff that they like in the water. But that's beneficial actually, because then they don't exhaust prey populations. Okay, so with these largemouth bass, catch and release is heavily pushed due to the fact that especially when they're larger, they spawn more. They are on watch. They're not typically invasive where they're found natively, but they can deplete other fish populations like salmon and trout very rapidly if their surroundings and conditions are right. Because they are pretty adaptable, and in some areas they exhibit trophic plasticity, and that is basically where their feeding habits can adapt to where they are, their geographic location, their surroundings, and this kind of pushes concerns and worries about it being, on an invasive sort of watch, because it can wipe out smaller non-established fish populations. And here, I just forgot to do the feeding part from the video. And we'll get him some more in a little bit.